Hello and welcome back to another Warhammer 3 video every day. Big news, CA has dropped details regarding the major AI issues concerning Lizardmen and Tomb Kings. This news does feel a bit random, but considering what's going on with the Steam reviews, as you know, there's been a bit of a backlash from the community for it. But with that said, let's get into what they said in the post. We'll read it off. We've been investigating the issues affecting campaign AI since the release of 6.3.1 and are working hard to restore it back to the better standard. I want to give you an update about where these issues have occurred and where the progress on fixing them. So cool. Well, at least we got some news. That's the cool thing about this. Hotfix is in development. Currently is a singular focus on campaign AI unit cap recruitment fixes and the bad AI behavior that stems from this issue. Hotfix 6.32 is presently scheduled for release next week. It has entered the first phase of our testing earlier today and is showing positive signs of providing an improved experience of the game. So this has been an issue plaguing the game for, I would say, almost 2 years now, where, AI is very passive. They kind of just sit and they'll attack you when they have like a bunch of armies maybe, and even then they usually just kind of sit around and they only attack you. They don't really, they'll go after a few other factions, but that'll be about the extent. So with this getting fixed, hopefully this will be the last time they have to fix it. Over the last few weeks when responding to questions on this topic, we originally planned to publish this fix as 7.0. Now the investigation has completed, we're almost there with the fix. It makes sense to decouple it from 7.0 to get it out as quickly as we can. That's good because when this initially happened, I had to look up and like realize where they said it, but I guess one of the community members of CA had talked about they're just going to release it with 7.0, which was the DLC that's coming out very soon. Hence why I don't think we're going to get a trailer this week. We probably were supposed to get it, but as I said earlier in the video, all the backlash from all the Steam reviews, they definitely don't want to do marketing when that's going on. Then we're going to look at the issues with campaign AI are unfortunately complex to resolve. We haven't been able to deliver an immediate fix as we need to conduct some very thorough investigations in the root cause. We are working quickly as the complexity allows. We'll go into complexity below for those who want detail, but if you're looking for the headliner, we're on it. So we already knew that they were fixing it. Now it's just more of they're going to kind of get to it to fix it. Something I think they definitely should have fixed before even talking about DLC. I think it's a little odd, and they do bring up in this it has been an issue that they probably knew about, but it wasn't that noticeable until now. Hotfix 6.32 aims to address the recent problems that we've seen where our factions aren't recruiting units into their armies and the idle behavior that stemmed from that. This issue with recruitment has been a highly visible problem since the release of update 6.3. With the issue, while it hasn't been caused by itself, we discovered that the issue has been present in the game prior to the update. Affects factions where AI is tasked with managing unit caps. We've found that the AI was building lists of units to recruit without taking caps into consideration, resulting in recruitment failing to occur and stalling the AI decision-making process. So basically, the reason why they were so passive is because they didn't want to attack anything, because they're trying to build up enough forces so they'll actually like win the battle. Like they're not going to fight a million battles; they'll know they'll lose. So they're trying to build up, but they're doing the math wrong basically. And they don't have enough for their recruitment, so they make a list, and they're just sitting there trying to get the money to build this army, but by the time they do, it's already like turned 30 or 50, and maybe they'll start making moves, These issues have been compounded by changes that we made to the different resources that are required to recruit units by Lizardmen and Tomb Kings, and why you've also noticed these issues like this happen with factions that use pooled resources, like spawning sequence, meat, oath gold, or skulls, to recruit. Lizardmen and Tomb Kings will still face an uphill struggle in their early campaigns. When managed by AI, When managed by AI, they have challenging starting locations, which is regularly sees them defeated fairly early on. But they shouldn't be fighting with both hands tied behind their back. I agree. Again, this has been a problem for a while, and them adding more resources for everything probably just made it way worse on accident because it was already an underlying issue. So with this, they were just like, well, that's why I think the Lizardmen and Tomb Kings, what I meant to say, is the ones that are so noticeable because of spawning sequence and all the special recruitment caps that the Tomb Kings have. So I think the AI is having a rough time. They've been having a rough time for a while, and now it kind of seems like they were going to have all hands on deck with the DLC. Now it's like all hands on deck to get this done. I do think them saying a week is kind of crazy because this video will be posted on Monday. So next week could be 7 days from now, or maybe 12 days from now. So that, I don't know, it could take up to 2 weeks, I would say, as it seems now. Then we're on to the next part of the section, them just explaining, how it actually broke down and how it's like, how it's going to get fixed. The way our AI handles unit recruitment occurs over several distinct steps. One of those steps is selecting a list of units to recruit into a specific force, with the goal of acquiring and necessary strength to perform the task. Like I said, they're not going to go out and purposely lose battles, unless it's like on easy mode. So they're going to try to do good, but before they do that, they need a bigger army, and that's where it comes. That's why it's a unit recruitment problem, where all of us were like, it's just AI in general. When the AI is mapping out shopping list of units that it wants to recruit, unit caps are not currently taken into consideration in proper fashion. This results in recruitment action failing as soon as the unit cap is exceeded. So yeah, like Tomb Kings, big example, they run out of unit caps for all their units because not every unit has a unit cap in some form. So once it runs out, it instead of building more buildings, it just kind of sits there and goes, yeah, I can't recruit. So it's kind of just stuck in limbo. Recruitment action failure then occurs that the AI should decide next task should be attack a settlement, is generating recruitment action and then expecting an increase in force or strength to a level where it feels the settlement garrison that is targeted for attack can be defeated. Without the unit recruitment task successful resolution, it holds up the succinct task and leaves the AI in a paralyzed state. It is a cascade of failures that results in certain factions failing to completely be aggressive and actions. Complete any aggressive actions whatsoever. So yeah, like I said, they just kind of sit there and they're planning to do something, but because they can't do that first step of planning, they're just stuck there trying to get all those units right away. In order to be efficient in how these resources are allocated and spent, the AI relies heavily on several beliefs around the current game world. Some examples of the assumptions, things are like cheapest unit that can be recruited anywhere in faction, strongest unit that can be recruited anywhere, most cost-efficient unit, best cost-to-strength ratio, estimated number of turns to reach the recruitment location of the strongest unit, cheaper unit. So yeah, instead of worrying about like buildings and the unit cap itself, they're too worried about actually trying to get they're actually measuring what the unit costs, how much strength it is. So it's basically focusing on the wrong things. Any mistakes when constructing these assumptions have been found to lead to catastrophic failure in many of our AI systems. Again, it's only most notable with the Lizardmen Tomb Kings because of some of their unit caps. If the AI believes a unit is free and provides any meaningful strength to increase it, it will not allocate any resources to buy units. It wrongly believes it can fill armies with powerful units for free, so it'll pursue the option to trigger a failure cascade. Again, yeah, it's doing math wrong. It thinks it can buy it, so when it tries to buy it, clicking that button over and over, nothing happens. And the AI isn't going to go past that step because that's like their first step to, making an action. If the cost of the unit is not properly evaluated, the AI itself finds situations where it is budgeted money that ultimately ends up being insufficient, causing overspending and running them into irrecoverable or slow off to pay off debt. So yeah, again, the AI just being broke. This is where pooled resources come into play. The AI's ability to understand, plan, and budget pooled resources is not ideal. Lately, AI has not been factoring in pooled resources it costs properly, leading to incorrect beliefs about what it can and cannot afford, resulting in action failure. So yeah, again, it's being a little too basic. It doesn't really have the planning phase of it needs to build more things and do more than just sit there and try to recruit. These past weeks of investigation have shown us that a majority of our internal systems were unprepared for actions that could not fail to fail. So yeah, things that are supposed to go well were not going well. The cascading effect leads to all sorts of problems. The AI couldn't change stances properly, attacking on the campaign failed, recruitment failed, laying siege failed, and so on. So yeah, you see one thing fails and then the AI is not able to do anything else. We've identified and resolved the leading causes for such failures, but it's very likely there are some other cases we're not aware of yet. Resolving the immediately known issues of this problem is helping us to remove any denser levels of fog that may be obscuring other possible causes. As they've become known to us, we'll resolve those too. So yeah, like they said, or like I said earlier in the video, there's other AI problems and other besides Tomb Kings and Lizardmen that are facing their own issues. Like I would say the Beastmen, I won't lie, I'm kind of disappointed in, because I remember in Warhammer 2, they definitely felt like a real force. Now it kind of feels like you defeat one army and that's all you have to do to defeat them. As it stands today, there are around 200 different pooled resources in the game, and they're used in a large variety of ways. To be absolutely certain of everything is properly accounted for is a daunting task, but we'll continue working on identifying and resolving issues in the future, and will not deploy the hotfix without careful monitoring this effect, and will continue to stay committed to bringing more improvements as necessary. So at least they're really hard. At least they're got their nose on the in the ground. They're trying to fix it. That was a bad metaphor. But they're trying to get it done. They're trying to get it fixed. At least that's good. At least they're being, at least they're saying something, to where the past week or two they've kind of been silent as the Steam reviews have kind of been dropping. And the last bit of news, the most disappointing of it, is news on Tides of Torment will take a backseat until this issue is resolved. We're looking forward to giving you your first complete look at the next DLC, but fixing this comes first. In closing, please accept our apologies for the experience that you're currently having with the game. I'll be active across different community spaces, helping to keep you informed of our progress as well towards the release of Hotfix 6.32. So that, I think, is really sad. I definitely think we were supposed to have the trailer this week, but because of all the issues with the AI and just the community backlash, but just being tired of all these bugs, it's never getting fixed. So I think it is a good move, even though I do hate it. I don't think the DLC is delayed by any means. I think what they are going to do to compensate is just maybe just make the advertising just shorter. So instead of like 3 to 4 weeks of advertising, it's more like 2 or like a week and a half. I still will hope that it comes out late October. I definitely think they would have said something if it wasn't. But do imagine if they released a trailer and we were still having these issues like they were originally. And I think that would have just been like not very good for the community or the game itself. But yeah, the AI is going to get fixed. Sadly, Tides of Torment news has taken on the back burner. But this is still good news. Things are getting fixed that people are desperately asking for. I'm excited for it. Hopefully this makes the game more playable for everybody. Again, thank you so much for watching. This is a quick little news thing. Trying to make it fast. But again, I read everything. So yeah, thank you again for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the future.